Hey guys, and happy October. I'm a little late. I wanted to figure out what I was gonna watch because I was gonna do some some horror movie reviews, and I was like, do I want to watch Cabin in the Woods? Do I want to watch like the Evil Dead remake? Do I want to watch Halloween? Do I want to go easy, or do I want to try something new? And I was like, for a minute there, I was gonna do Cabin in the Woods, because it's one I've never talked about, and also it's awesome. But the I chose to go with something I'd never seen before because it just feels better. I don't know why. It's just because when I talk about a movie that I already love, I feel like I'm just kind of saying the things I've already said or things that people have already said. Um, and that's fine for like during the marathon if I'm if I continue to do a bunch of these, talk about movies I haven't talked about before, even though like I already know how I feel about them. But like to start this off, I wanted to try something new that I'd never seen before. And actually, one that I watched zero trailers for. I knew a basic idea of what the synopsis was and what it was about, but I'd never watched the movie, and I'd never seen a trailer. I'm glad I didn't see a trailer for it, by the way, because I saw a trailer after I saw it, and I'm like, wow, that would have ruined that fucking movie for me. Um, the movie is, as you could tell, Suspiria, directed by Dario Argento and starring, I think, Jessica Harper is her name. Um, Centers around a girl, a newcomer to this European school. Don't know where it is. I feel like it should be easy for me to know, but I just didn't. I wasn't paying attention to the school name or where it's from. It's about this girl. She comes to school. She's a ballet dancer, and she comes to school and realizes that shit ain't what it seems. People are dying, and some supernatural shit's going on. And it's basically about the hijinks that ensues after she, starts putting all this stuff together. Um, this is a movie. Throughout its runtime, I was kind of confused. I didn't know how to feel about it because there were scenes where I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what am I watching? I don't get it. I don't understand." Because I had heard like this is a movie that people consider to be Dario Argento's masterpiece. It's a movie that's awesome and like it's an acclaimed film, and I'm like, I don't see it. Like I'm watching the movie and I'm like, but why? I don't understand what's so great about this movie. It's so weird. Some of the acting's stilted and some hilariously bad dubbings in it. And I'm like, I don't get why this is cool. Well, movie went on. Got to the last 12 minutes of this movie. The last 12 minutes of this movie are some of the most adrenaline-filled, crazy, down the rabbit hole shit that I've watched in a while, and some of the most terrifying things that happen in this movie happen in the last 12 minutes of this movie. And I'm not going to spoil anything about what happens in this film because I went into this movie blind, pretty much nothing, just like basic ideas, and people tell me, yeah, it's a really good movie. And I'm glad I did that. And if you've never seen a single piece of anything about Suspiria, do not see anything. Don't watch a trailer. Don't read reviews. Don't do anything. Why are you watching this video? Don't do anything that could possibly spoil this movie for you because there's some crazy, trippy, weird shit that happens in this movie that you have to experience and you cannot know about because when it takes you off guard, it's just great. But more of that later. This film is my exposure to Dario Argento. Dario Argento. I'd never seen a single one of his movies, and this is my first. And as I understand, this is probably the one that most people recommend as the gateway. And definitely makes me peak to see a little bit more because I really enjoyed this movie. I didn't enjoy it for the runtime, though, as I was stating. It had some weird shit. And it was more of a, what am I watching? For some of it, like the first like 10 minutes of the movie, when she, I'm not gonna say anything. The first 10 minutes of the movie are amazing, gorgeous. gorgeously shot, beautifully lit. Just such lurid, beautiful lighting. Um, some crazy shit happens. Not gonna spoil any of it. But like the first 10 minutes of the movie are so good. It really had me into it, and then it starts going. I don't know where it's going. Some weird shit starts happening, and there's some bad stilted dialogue and acting from the supporting cast. The main actress is good. She carries the movie very well. I care about what happens to her, which is one of the most important things in these horror movies because nowadays they can't do that worth a damn. Um, some of the dialogue's really weird. There's some hilarious dubbing. Um, there's this. I really want to remember his name. I'm just gonna look at it. There's the guy who plays the German in everything, Udo Kier. He plays the German in basically anything. I believe he's also the German scientist guy in Human Centipede. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he is. He's in this movie, and he's young, so I almost didn't recognize him. But they dubbed over his voice and gave him an American accent, and it is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life because I know how he talks, and he sounds nothing like that. But and there's one person who's clearly not even speaking English that they dub over, and they don't even try to hide it because it's a close-up shot, and it's kind of funny. I always find dubbing funny. I don't know why, especially when it's really noticeable. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things that happen, and there's sometimes when the lighting, they'll have scenes where there's this beautiful red lighting, and then all of a sudden, boom, it'll kind of wash out a little bit, and I'm like, okay, turn the light down, because it's kind of nuts. But most of the time, like the lighting really works, and it definitely adds to the atmosphere of the film. And this is a movie that has a very tense, very dreamlike atmosphere, and it's really well directed. It's visually the cinematography is gorgeous, and all this, like, it's a wonderful looking movie, and it looks so different from anything I've ever seen in my life. In some ways, I mean, I think people are gonna really not like this, but I kind of compare it to a Nicholas Winding Refn movie in some ways. Just the way that it's shot, the way that it kind of feels, because sometimes Winding Refn has kind of an off-kilter feel in some of his movies, especially ones like Only God Forgives. I didn't like it in that one, just because the movie itself around it didn't work for me, but he has a similar feel, and sometimes the lighting kind of feels kind of similar. It has a similar feel, and um, the lighting, when they don't wash the film out, the lighting really works. And I gotta talk about the kills. There's a couple. There's not as many as I thought there was gonna be. I thought there was gonna be a bigger body count for this movie, but there wasn't. For 1977, I'm actually really surprised by how graphically violent this movie is. I've seen worse. Let's be clear. I've seen much more graphically violent movies, much more cartoonishly graphically violent movies. This isn't torture porn, because despite the fact that it's pretty graphic, it's not gratuitous. It makes the impact, but it doesn't linger, and it doesn't glorify it. It kind of just hits you and it continues. There's an extended sequence, I won't spoil what happens, that I think maybe some people might find to be gratuitous. I didn't find it to be gratuitous just because it worked for me. But the makeup effects are really good. There's some, like, really, I'm surprised by how strong some of the makeup effects still are to this day. And just that goes for the whole movie. The fashion's outdated, and the cars, you could tell, are older, but as far as the film quality and the way that it just feels, it doesn't feel to me like it's set ingrained completely in the 70s. It feels like a movie that could have been done today, just with old clothing. It doesn't feel rooted in that that time period to me. As far as like, I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't come off like, I don't feel like it's dated. So if that makes sense. Like I said, the main actress is really strong. She always she has this believability to her, and she's just a strong lead that carries this movie and makes you care about her, despite the fact that it's not a movie that they really delve into her past or really let you get to know her prior to a lot of the stuff that happens. But her performance alone carries her character enough that you can just watch her and believe her and follow her and hope she survives the film. So, you know, props to her, props to Dario for being a good director. Voice crack. I mean, oh my god, the score by Goblin, I think is the name of the band. I don't know. I don't know. Score's awesome. There's this common theme that plays throughout the movie. Such a gorgeous theme. And there's sometimes it may just have been the mix I was watching, but there's sometimes when the score overpowers the rest of the movie that kind of irritates me from a sound mixing point of view. But the score itself is a really good score. Like it's similar to like Batman v Superman this year. Beautiful score, but it may have just been my theater, but the score was really freaking loud. Sometimes overpowering dialogue. Same thing happens in this movie. But it doesn't happen very much, so it's not like it's crazy. I mean, the last 12 minutes of this movie, I'm obviously not going to go into any detail, but the last 12 minutes of this movie freaked me out like no film has in a while. Generally, I don't get scared by horror movies as much anymore. And by that I mean like lasting. Like I went and saw Conjuring 2 this year. It scared me a couple times. It had a good atmosphere, all that stuff. But like lasting scare, not really. The last 12 minutes of this movie, and to anybody who has seen Suspiria, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. When when something shows up and threatens to kill the main actress, that stuck with me for this past hour and a half or 2 hours or however long it's been since I stopped watching the movie. The image of that thing, that person, is ingrained in my mind. Like the makeup effects, amazing, and just it's such a well shot and executed moment that it just fucking hits you. And it hit me. I mean, maybe I'm just a pussy. I don't know, but I got it, and I'm like, ooh, God! Like I actually audibly said, ooh, fuck that. That's disgusting. Like that's like, it got me real good. And I still feel it, and I could still see it. And it's a movie hasn't unnerved me the way that this movie has in a while, since at least the first Conjuring movie. Maybe Evil Dead the remake, but this movie's actually really unnerved me, and I'm so happy to say that because like a horror movie hasn't done that to me in so long, and it just makes me happy as a horror fan. So that's my review for Suspiria. If I had to give it a rating, I would say like, to be fair, I did have problems with the movie throughout it, but by the end they were kind of wrapped up. But there's still kind of problems in a way. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's not going to diminish the score very much for me. I'm not going to give this an A plus. Though I mean, upon rewatch, and I'm sitting here thinking about this movie, and the more and more I think about it, the more and more I like it. So it could easily change to an A plus, but I'm going to give it an A for now. I really enjoyed the movie. It's a movie that I definitely want to see again. I actually I finished watching the movie. I actually went on eBay and I literally almost bought a Blu-ray of Suspiria, and I was like, I gotta fucking buy this movie and watch it again and again and again and again. But I didn't, cause, you gotta be smart because money. But it's a movie that I think I'm going to watch again as soon as I possibly can, just because I know now what it is, and if I rewatch it, I might change my mind. So it may go up. It may go up because the more and more I think about the movie, the more and more I like it. So A for now can always change, but this is a movie I highly recommend. And if you're gonna watch this movie, do not watch any trailers. Do not read any in-depth reviews. Don't do it. It's just going into this movie blind is the best way you can see this movie. I'm saying that that's what I did, and I mean, just I say that mostly because the trailer I saw after I finished the movie revealed the thing that I was talking about that deeply got me in the trailer. And I'm like, why? Like, why would you put that in the trailer? Like, I'm like, what the I'm so glad I didn't watch the trailer. So just don't touch the trailers. Don't do it. See the movie. You could buy it on DVD. I'm fairly certain you can get it for cheap now. So just fucking watch it, man. So yeah, I that was my review for Suspiria. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've seen Suspiria, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and stay nerdy, everybody. And just so you know, I'm gonna try this month to try to review as many horror movies as I can. I'm busy a lot, so I'm gonna try. I really want to get at least one or two of the Halloween series done. Praying I get more than that done, but I want to get some of the Halloween series done, and I really there's a couple I really want to get on. Especially I want to do at least the first Nightmare on Elm Street, at least the first 2 Halloween movies, and I want to do at least the first 3 Friday the 13th movies, among some other ones. But we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna make no promises. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, stay nerdy, everyone.